People of the internet, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Out of the Park Baseball 17 GM Mode Sim commentary for the Premier League Baseball and the Brooklyn Atlantics. I am F5 Penguin. You can find me all over the web at F5 Penguin. And in the last video, we recapped July. We are now in August and we were struggling and it was not looking good. Things have turned around a little bit and we've made a couple of changes through the month of July. I've been reading all your comments. Please, and through now August. Please like and subscribe this video. If you liked it, please let me know. Leave your comments below. Tweet me on Twitter like I mentioned. I look forward to hearing from you. I had a good conversation with those who want to participate, so let me know what you think. Now, things are a little bit crazy. We're still in a good position. We have to kind of work towards getting into the playoffs. So a couple of things we've done to make that happen. Let's recap and kind of go into it. So we're 39-29. Noriega from Minnesota is on fire. He's won back-to-back Hitter of the Month awards, Hitter of the Week awards. It's been crazy. I've got to try to go and get him in the offseason by any means necessary is really what it comes down to. Minnesota's a good team. They're an expansion team, and I'm surprised that they're doing so well. But then I look at the changes we made to the GMs and the owners valuing prospects, and it kind of makes a lot of sense that the expansion teams are not as bad as we thought they would have been in the first place, or as bad as they were when we first got them. So we have to kind of battle that, okay? 39-29, they're 50-18. We're one game ahead of Jake, who runs Laredo, for a wild card spot. We just have to get to the playoffs. Things can be reset once we get to the playoffs. So where are we at? Let's kind of recap the emails real quick. So we had the All-Star game, right? And we were shelled in the All-Star game. Team 1 lost yet again. That's 2 years back-to-back. Team 1 loses, and partially due to, unfortunately, Rubenstein giving up 4 runs. Neither here nor there. It's just something of note. And we had Parrish, Zarnecki, and I think that's all we actually had. Yeah, that's all we had on the team. We had a couple of others, but they got injured. So now we also signed a second baseman. This is Tom Charin. Okay, he had pretty good stats. A scout looked like Cantu likes him. Our scout Cantu is our former Edgar Cantu. He's now our scout. So we have him in the minor leagues in single A. We also signed a pitcher because we had a couple of injuries, had to fill some roles. So we moved some players, shuffled them around. Same situation, nothing to shake a stick at, but we'll see if it develops into something that can work out for us. Get that out of the way. Eric Newman wants a new deal. I'm probably just going to let him go. I have through the offseason to figure that out. We'll see what we want to do. If he can get up to 300 for the season, I'll keep him. If he does really well in the playoffs, I'll keep him. We kind of have to see what he's going to do. So we'll leave that alone. Now, I also went and signed McCarty. We knew we had to extend him. It was a no-brainer that we had to keep him. Yes, I will admit putting him as the backup and as the first pinch hitter and all that was a bad idea. I just wanted Brady to kind of grow and develop and not, I don't know, dumb idea, okay? His zone rating isn't very good. We don't have a DH role. He doesn't play second base very well. I thought putting the hot hand in and defensively, who also hit well with Brady, was good, but it obviously was the wrong decision. And when I finally decided to make the change, he got injured for 4 weeks, so I'm sorry. I'll show you the lineup in just a moment, though, okay? Chill. We got this. So anyway, the losses actually helped us out, though, and here's why. So not only are the fans happy about this, we got him on a heck of a deal. Going into the season, he wanted $800,000. So I told myself I have to open up about $1 million to give myself some room to sign these people. Well, let's look at the contract here. We got him for 7 years at $360 a year all the way through season 5, and then at 2 options, $460 in 6 and 7, plus a little bit of a bonus for hitting some benchmarks for him. So that helps him out. Hey, 31 years old. He came up late. We brought him up at the right time. He's hitting well. I think we're good. What do you think? I want to know. I'm kind of looking at this going, yeah, I'm happy. I hope you're happy too. We saved $500,000. I can't get much better than that, right? So we got him till he's old. We're going to be okay, and we can opt out if he starts to suck. So no big deal. Now, we are also in roster expansion because we did hit September 1st. But let's take a look at how we did front office-wise in the past month of August. You can see our numbers attendance-wise have gone down a bit, which also has affected our accounting. We're only going to get about 350,000 in the bank. We're not going to hit our projection unless we get in the playoffs, and that changes the game again. So we have to look at that and kind of figure out what we're going to do from there. Look at player development. We are 19th out of 24. We called up a lot of our players, and some of them just turned out to be busts in AAA, and that's what you're seeing here. We have to rebuild our prospect system yet again, and we got to really dig through this time and look at it. I know a lot of people are recommending me players, and some of the players, I need well-rounded players that have a lot of potential in a lot of areas. So far, ones that have, a 2 or a 3 in certain ratings have honestly not really worked out to be the best unless I had the crappy scout. But now I have a decent scout again, and those ratings, they match up with OSA, and 9 times out of 10, they're 100% accurate. They're not going to pan out to be somebody really good. So I need numbers at minimum 5 potential, and that's ML average player, major league average player. So I need to make that happen, and I've been hesitant to sign a lot of those players just because of those reasons, and some of them I just couldn't sign. They wanted to sign elsewhere. So we've got to go and prospect and really get some players back together. Excuse me. So one thing that we did have that bit us kind of in the butt too is we traded away a lot of our draft picks, but that was mainly because we wanted to go get Leon, which has proven to be a good thing. So let's pull back and look at the front page of our manager's office. You can see who's hot and who's not. We got Davies, Garza, and Hop all doing great, which I love. Alex Garza has been a godsend in relief, while Thierry's kind of pulled back as far as the talent is concerned. We've flipped it with Garza stepping up. Bill Hop is doing insanely well, 1.64 ERA for the league. We're 3rd in the league in ERA. I feel pretty good about that. Run scored has kind of dropped. Batting average has kind of dropped. I got to look at that, and I swear to you, I think it's everything to do with my strategy I had set before the stupid manager changed it. Now I can't change it back. So in the offseason, if this does not work, I'm pulling the plug on him. And I need to know, OOTP experts, tell me, please tell me, is it okay to fire a manager? Does it really affect the team, or does it just affect fan interest? If it just affects fan interest, I don't care. If it affects the team, I do care and need to make that work. Also, found it funny, Isaiah Fountain's on the trade block here. We had him with our team in like the 50s, early 50s. So I found that funny because he's not very good. So he's on the trading block. Take that for what you will. But you can see I shortlisted Noriega. I've got to go and get him. He's in the offseason. It's happening. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to have the cash flow to do it now because we're going to drop Alcala. I'm going to be good. So we're going after Noriega. That's our game plan. I don't care who says what. It's going to happen. And if I got to overpay, I'm going to overpay because I'm going to go and get the stud. He's good, and the numbers are there to back that up. You can see record-setting times here in 58. 59, he did okay. In 60 and 61, he kind of hit his stride, right? And you can look at the stats. They're all there. Eyes a little bit low. Coughing like crazy. I apologize. Sorry. Eyes a little bit low, but we look at the expanded stats, 246 WRC. He's been above 100 the whole time. His WAR is good. WPA is good. This is the guy we're going to go for, and there's no question about it. So it's gonna happen, and we're going to go pick him up, and we're going to turn him into something great. We're going to make Brooklyn great out in the outfield, too. So we're going to make those steps happen regardless. You can see 368. It's crazy. So Noriega, Minnesota, we're gumming after you, man. We're doing it. So let's go over to our schedule and see how we did. We kind of have to look at that. Oh, I should mention before I do that, Phil Pott got injured. He's injured for another week. He was out for 4.5 weeks. That's rough. Kurix came back from his 2.5-year injury, it felt like. We have him in the minors rehabbing. He runs out of contract here at the end of the season. I'll probably just let him go. But if we can have him healthy for the playoffs, it gives us an option. And he is an ML option. He really is. You can see he's struggling a little bit in the minors, but we expect that because he was off for a season and a half. So he's not going to do very well in the minors during the rehab, but I think he'll be okay once he gets better. I think he's got another 14 days or so in the minors before he comes back. We'll see if he'll be healthy or if we make the playoffs in time for that. That's also something going on too. Alex Garza at 40 years old, putting a 1.18 ERA. That's crazy. So let's look at the schedule. You can kind of see it was scattered. We had a long losing streak broken up by one win. I think we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We lost 8 of 9. So last month we won 8 of 9. This month we lost 8 of 9. Now the good news is we had a nice little win streak. If we go back to July, we won 2 back-to-back on the 31st. And then we won 3, had the break for All-Star, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We won 9 straight. That was really good. And then we pulled together another couple wins here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going into September, 7, 8, and lost 1. So we're picking up those wins again, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. And you can see we run a little bit late into the season, into September this year. And that's something we got to look at. We don't play Minnesota again, so they can keep running away with hitting, and if they don't slow down, we may not catch them. That's kind of what we have to look at. Info-wise, we can see where the numbers are. So we ended the month of August 15 and 11. The key factor of our games and why we're 11 games back is strictly due to the one-run games. It's those things I'm talking about, those KPIs, those metrics of where our success lies in the extra inning games for 1 and 3. We should be closing those out. We have the pitching to do it. And one-run games, 13 and 14. Not really the most impressive record for those types of games. And this is what we sit at. So overall, looking at things, where are we struggling? Well, our hitting production, at least average-wise, has gone down. Got to get that back on track. But we did have 2 big injuries to kind of battle with. Our pitching, though, on the uphand, our pitching's great, but our balls and bases against balls in play, BAVIP, is a little bit high. We're kind of average in the league for that, and our defensive efficiency just isn't there. So we're not being able to react on those balls that are in play and put out people. That's what we got to do. So we are 4th place in the wild card. We're hanging on to a game. How do our stats look for the month of August? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's show you pitching-wise. You already know Hop's doing great. You already knew Garza's on fire. Kira's, he's doing quite well for us, too. I can't really complain too much with what he's done for us. We go to pitching stats and we go to the game log. We've only had 2 blown saves for the season. 24 saves this guy's got. So when we're getting in positions to win games, boy, oh boy, are we doing it. And look, he's breaking a record for himself, at least personally, 24 saves this season. I'm impressed. I can't be happier with that kind of result when I paid the guy to do this, $250,000. This is what I want you to do, close out games. And I got him cheap for the rest of the time he's with us. And we'll hold on to him until he starts dropping. But right now, he's not. And we're going to lock that in. So pitching-wise, we're okay. Sabala has finally gotten his groove back. Salazar probably isn't the way to go as far as our starter just yet. I think he's got another year to really develop into something solid. He had a good season in AAA last season and kind of helped us out in relief just a small bit in the end of that year. So this is his first year as a starter. I think we'll have a little bit more out of him, but if that control doesn't get up, I think that's going to be our problem. But remember, this was an international signing. We found him somewhere. We found him over in Venezuela. We picked him up, and he's got a good array of pitches. I think we'll be okay. He might not be at starter, but at the very least, he'll be a long relief kind of emergency starter. But we're still pitching above league average for his talent. So that 4.24 is a little bit high, but we did have a couple of rough games and blowouts, and every pitcher on our team had that, unfortunately. So nothing we can really do. 2 saves for Garza, 1 save for Thierry in the month of August, by the way. Something to look into as well. I'm really, really happy with the vast majority of the stats I got from my pitchers. We only had a couple of issues where we had to close out those games, and we just didn't, and that just gets frustrating. Alcala and Estrada have not really been pitching at all for us. We've relied strictly on Garza, Thierry, Wilson. That's been our go-to. So we're definitely going to drop one of these two. It's not there for us to take advantage of. Somebody else can go get these players. I mean, we look at $806,000 we're going to let go because we just can't do it. It doesn't make sense for us to do it. Estrada was a bust for us, except for the first year or second year. I truly believe that. I don't know. That injury set him off. I think that injury did it for him. He went fragile and then stopped performing. And then Alcala just isn't. We knew what we were going to get with him. We were going to get somebody that was decent but not great, and that is the case here. but his leadership was what we wanted. So going into the offseason, we pick up two things. We go for our center fielder, we try to shore up the outfield, and we look for somebody with high leadership, and we do that again, and we'll be in good shape. So I'm just trying to reset that, and we probably go and get the manager. But again, let me know if we need to do that with the manager and pull somebody in that we can manipulate again and get our strategies right, and if that won't affect us. Because if it doesn't affect us, I'm doing it, no questions asked. I'm literally doing it. I'm not replicating real life where they finally become a good reputation manager and do what they want to do. What they're doing is obviously wrong. What I'm doing was right. It got us that far into the playoffs, and I'm tired of retreating every single season. I have something different happen. So we're losing that. We didn't even go with Mizzle, actually, if you look at this here. So it was really just Garza, Thierry, Wilson, and you can see the numbers here weigh themselves out for August. And the success we're having proves it. It's right there. You know, you can see where we're doing quite well. Thierry's getting a little bit over the hill as far as his skill set's concerned. I don't think he's going to be a setup guy going forward. I think he'll move out to middle relief. I think the leverage that he enters a game with in setup is too much for him at that age. So even though Garza's killing it, just he doesn't have a curveball, right? So he has a mediocre fastball, a really good changeup, but nothing in between. And I think that's going to be the problem with that. If we go to his page, though, his leader is high. So we need to look for someone with very high. But he also goes into free agency. So I don't know. I forgot. We did re-sign him at $60K. So we got him for 3 more seasons. We can hold on to him and figure out what to do. Our scout says we can close him out, but I don't know. I don't think he can close out games anymore. I think he goes to middle relief, and I don't want to put Garza there, but we need to find another setup guy and let that happen. Let that become a thing. So our pitchers, we're losing a couple this offseason. We got to look to bring some up, and we do have some options, see if they can develop into something decent. We'll look at the AAA in the offseason and kind of figure that out. Switching over to batting is kind of where we had struggles this month. Better this month than last. We had 2 players above 300 with 1 coming close, but Gutman was the guy. He only had 12 plate appearances. I can't really take that into consideration. So it was Capra and McCarty, and everybody else kind of not. Just at all. No good. So hitting again, our power, our hitting, it's like, what are we doing? So what did I do to fix the situation with Phil Pott? Well, we put McCarty out in third base. If my thing is, if he can't play second base with a 3, he's not going to do any worse over at third base, truthfully. So he's out there at third base. Brady's still in second base doing what he does best and being a defensive god and hitting when he somewhat can hit. But you can see our averages are low, and that's really what it comes down to is our averages have to get better. They have to get better. There's no option about it. And if they don't, this is where we're going to be. We're going to be 1 game back and probably struggle. So I changed the lineup a bit. I agreed with somebody said in the comments that McCarty Parrish 1-2 punch is working. I'm kind of just playing with the lineup to see where they should fit. I like the 3-4. I had them in 2-3, and that didn't really work, and I put them in 3-4, and it was having better results. So I'm leaving them in 3-4. Capra Zarnecki, Capra Brady kind of thing going there, and then Zarnecki following up Parrish or Brady following up Parrish. I feel like that'll work. Perdomo gets like streaky hot and then not, so obviously it's not a final solution for us. And then Folo we have to look at, and if we renew him as well, we open up another $250,000. I feel like we can let these guys go. I feel like we can. They're older dudes, and I don't feel like they're producing as much as they should for us. 230. He was my power bat, and like, what did they get us? Contact 4, avoid case 4, strikeouts 53. Like that's pretty high. Looking at his numbers going back into the past, so we'll probably let him go too, and we save $1.8 million going into it all together. So yeah, I mean, we can spend and go get some players that are going to be good. So give me your feedback on free agents. Give me your feedback on what you like that's sitting out there coming up. Link in the description below to the Premier League Baseball website. You can see facts, tricks, figures, all the tricks. There's no tricks on there. There really isn't. But you can see everything there is to know about the league. Check out the players. Give me your feedback on Twitter at F5Penguin or all over the web at F5Penguin. And, of course, liking and subscribing to the videos. Keep them coming. Throw me a thumbs up if you like these. I'm glad you are. I'm doing it for you. This is fun for me. It's fun for you. And in the off season, we also get a little bit crazy. There's some rule changes or some league changes happening as well. So be prepared for that. More info on that coming soon as I have all the info. But we're aiming for the playoffs. We recap September in the next video, and hopefully we get into the playoffs. We'll look it over here at the standings one time so you can kind of see how we sit. Second, like I said, but if we go to the sub league, top 8 get in. We are there, okay? We're hanging on by a thread. We are one game ahead of Laredo, and we got to lock that down, man. We got to lock that down. So this is Out of the Park Baseball 17, GM Mode Sim commentary for the Premier League Baseball and the Brooklyn Atlantics. Going for the playoffs. We'll see you in the next video. Lemurs, you stay away. You stay away. By the way, Quebec City's worse than Joplin? When did that happen? And then Jeff said he got bored with the way the league is. It's because you're not winning anymore, Jeff. Just throwing that out there. Love you.